Hi everyone, today we're going to see how to recreate the new TX-6 from Teenage Engineering in Rhino 7. It's quite a long tutorial, so it's going to be divided into different videos. If you have any question, please let me know in the comment section. Alright, so let's start by creating a new document with the template small objects millimeter. And then the first thing we're going to do is to place our reference picture. So we're going to start with the front one, the top one, here. And we want this to be at the correct size. So on the website of Teenage Engineering, you can actually find the dimension, which are 90mm by 62. So 62 like this and 90. So you're going to draw a rectangle of 62 by 90, 62 by 90. And then we're going to scale the picture to fit, for the object to fit this rectangle. So use the scale tool, then scale the picture like this. Here you can put your picture into another layer that we are going to call picture. And then we're going to place the other reference pictures. So we have one which is from the front here. So you can add the front one. Like this. So we want to scale it also. So place the side of the object to the side of the rectangle that you just drawn here, and then scale your picture. Hold Shift to have a straight line and scale it. So same with the right picture. Here, the side here. So we're going to place it here. Turn it, and it actually needs to be, I think, in the other direction, so like this. And when we will modelize it, we'll modelize it from the left view, not the right view. So same way, we're going to move this. So put left. And we're going to scale our picture. Like this, scale. Here we go. Okay. So I can put this lower. And we'll place the other picture later, and we'll need them. For the moment, you can just select your picture, put it into the picture layer, and lock it. So now that we have our reference picture set, we are going to create the main parts of the object. So you can delete your initial rectangle, and we're going to draw a rectangle with rounded corners. Here. You can actually put the correct measurements directly. So start from the bottom left, type 62, press enter and then 90, and then choose the roundness. So let's do something like this here. And then we are going to extrude that. So align this here. Extrude it. So here it says that you extrude it of 14 millimeters. So let's see on the website. That's 23 millimeter, but it's probably 23 between the bottom and the top of the knobs. So just extrude it as on the picture, as per the picture. Type 15 here. Then here you can put the shaded mode to see the volume that you created, and we are going to then draw all the detail of the top surface, so all the holes that makes the top surface. So we're going to do this for the top, and then for the sides and the bottom, and then when we'll have drawn all the curves, we're going to trim everything in order to create the volume after that. So let's start by here, by the buttons here. So there are rounded rectangles here. Like this. So this here, you can type 10 millimeters. You can duplicate this here. This here is a bit bigger. A rounded rectangle. Like this. So we're going to do one row and then we're going to duplicate it. Mm, 0.5, maybe a bit bigger. 0.25. Here. This seems to be a bit big actually. So yeah, this is probably more correct. So duplicate it, hold Alt, and move them and click on the green arrow at the same time in order to duplicate an object like this. Here, also those knobs, they sit into a hole, so we're going also to create the holes for this. So this is probably this 3.5. Here and here. So you can align everything. Select all your curves, choose the align command, and then it's vertical center, yeah, and then everything is going to be aligned vertically, and then place it wherever you want that seems to be aligned with the picture, like this. Now you can group everything and you can duplicate it. So Alt, and you move the red arrow like this. Don't worry if it's not properly aligned. You have to just make sure that the last one is properly aligned. Here. And actually this was not grouped, so put it also here. Align this with, so vertical center, align this. So the reason why we want to group all of the curves which are aligned vertically is because we are going to distribute, use the command distribute to have something even, to have a spacing which is even between all the curves. So yeah, here group. So then select all your curve. Actually this one, move it a bit at the left, like this, and select all your curve and use the tool distribute, the type distribute, and you want to distribute it in the X direction. So you're going to click on X and you see that it's going to evenly distribute all the curve together. So for those curves here, we want to align them vertically also. So align and then vertical center, and then you want to align it probably here like this. So now let's do the left side. So go on the left view. We're going to move the curves that we did first, not to be bothered by them. Let's put them higher here, and then from the side we're going to draw this little hole, and then the little switch inside, and the little LED also. Bring up this. Here, then we can do the front here. So move the reference picture so that it fits your geometry like this here. Then we're going to cut all here first to create, the curve for the hole after. here, you can duplicate it. Same here. And here there is also this part which is slightly different. Do something like this. And actually this needs to be centered to that. So you can align it, concentric, and then search the center here and do the same here. So it's a bit offsetted from the actual drawing, from the actual picture, but it's fine. The perspective of the picture might also be distort the proportion of the object. Okay, and then we're going to do the jack side. So to do the jack, we'll first draw this big part here, and then we will create a hole inside. So something like this. Go in the top view here. And actually this is aligned with the rest, with the other parts, so you can align it horizontally, no, vertically. So vertical center, and then mid, and then you can extrude this. Extrude curve till here. And then you can do the same. You can do this little circle here. So from the front, seems to be slightly smaller, maybe. Actually, I think that's fine. So you're going to align it with this and to extrude it till there. So align it, vertical center, middle of this, and then extrude it, extrude curve to here. So then now we can create this little part here. So you can move this here and extrude it, extrude curve till, let's say here. You can do a Boolean operation, Boolean difference. So this first, and then select surface, polysurface to subtract with, and press enter. And then you can create a volume which is that size of the hole, like this. Select it. And extrude it. And then we're going to select both of those here. And to do a Boolean operation with this one. So now you have the hole inside. So now we need to put the other reference view from the top. So you're going to change this view and put top. Actually, first of all, move those curves so that they don't bother you. So move this here. So from the front, so go and put back, and then we're going to place the other reference picture back here. Then you'll place it, turn it, and then we can hide the other picture, put this at the back, I mean at the front, put this up here, and scale it like this. scale, remove all the snapping point, sorry, here, and then you scale it. Okay. So maybe you can also put those curves, those things into another layer so that it doesn't bother you. So select all of this here and move to and change object layer. You can put it, you can call it front detail and then hide it. Okay, and this you can put it in this one, in this layer, and yeah, actually you need to put it into another layer called maybe front picture, so that you can hide all of the other, because otherwise this picture is going to annoy us. So unlock, select this, move into front picture, and then hide the other one and lock this one. Perfect. So now we're going to draw those details. So let's draw one here. And then you can duplicate it. Here. And actually those need to be aligned with those rows. So you can align them by selecting them, align, and then vertical center, and then you can align it here. Actually you can go on the top to align it, it would be here. So like this, center, same here, vertical center. Vertical center. Perfect. Then this one. So same for this one, needs to be aligned with those. So line, vertical center, and then here. And that's all. Oh, actually there is this thing here. Like this. And finally, there is something on the side here, which is a little detail. So if you put the reference picture, this little detail is actually cut into the aluminum part, and it goes all around from here to the other side. So we can do this from the side. So go in on the left and then draw a rectangle with rounded corner like this. And then like this. And then we're going to align this to be exactly in the center between the top and the bottom. So align, vertical center, no, horizontal center, like this. Perfect. And then we're going to project this onto our surface. So go into the shaded mode, use the shaded mode, and here you do project curves on control points. So select this curve, press enter or space, and then select your surface. And then you see that it created this little part. Okay, and so this needs to be on the other side actually, I think, yeah. Here. And the last part is to actually do the bottom of this. So we're going to go from the top in the top view and set the view to be the bottom. And then we're going to remove all our reference picture. We can leave the front picture on, and then we're going to place the reference picture for the bottom. Here, so like this, you can put it under, not over actually, and then we can scale this. Scale, remove the snapping points, and then like this, we're going to bring it in, and it seems to be alright, like this. So on this picture you can see that there is this part and this part which are offsetted from the border, and in addition to that the offsetted part which sits into the offsetted part is sliced in two. So what we're going to do is so this is the bottom, here is the bottom, and we're going to duplicate the edge, offset it, and this will be our tool to actually create this this hole in which we're going to create those pieces. So duplicate the curves here, duplicate edge, and then you double click here, and it's going to select the entire edge around, and then press enter. Then you want to join them, and then we're going to offset them. So offset, and then we can either define a distance, either go through a point. So if we do this, we can see how much we're offsetting into. So I guess maybe 1 millimeter should be fine. Yeah, let's do 1 millimeter. So you can type 1 millimeter, so 1, and then click inside the shape to offset inside. Okay, maybe you can draw this curve also, it will be useful later. Here, okay, and we can draw also the hole into which the screws goes in. So it's, let's type 3 millimeter, and maybe we can have this going there. So duplicate it with Alt and move the arrow here, and that's it. So we have most of the we have all the curves that will allow us to create the hole into the main body, to then be able to create a solid out of it. So what we're going to do is to hide our reference pictures, and then we're just going to trim this main poly surface with all the curves that we created. So we can start by the top, let's say. Yeah, let's start with the top. So select all your curves and then group them, and then we're going to align it here. So align bottom, and then from this view we are going to trim, so use the trim option, and then we can click inside all the shapes in order to create the holes. So you have to be careful where you cut it and where you didn't. Otherwise you can always do Ctrl Z to undo what you did. And if you're not sure where you cut it, you can move the view in order to see the shadow behind, how it reacts, like this. So now the little PC is here. Like this, then press enter, and actually those are not done, so do I forgot those ones here, here seems to be correct. Okay, so press enter. Then we want to do this part here, to cut this part. So use, this time we don't want to remove the entire part, we just want to split this with that. So select your the main poly surface, select split, and then select your curve, press enter, and then it's split now. And then we're going to create the holes like we did on the top, but with those curves here. From the top view you can align it. Like this, top. So align it to the surface, and then with the trim option, oh, this one also, sorry, align top, and then with the trim option we're going to create the holes into the surface. Trim, no, trim, like this. Then you can do this on this side also. Align left here. And then same for here. From the bottom view or top view, you can align it. So bottom or top, and then select this. So I think it's correct. Yeah. Okay, select those. So actually in the reference picture, there are holes here. This is a difference of material, and this is going to host buttons. So we want to split this with that, those splits. And then we want to create a hole inside the splitted surface we just created. So like this, and then we want to do the same here, like this here. Now we can do the other side. So select the main part and let's split it like this here, and then we can split this with the other curve that we created, which is this one. So in order to do that, maybe remove the reference picture, select the surface under, and then choose split, select your curve, and now this is split. And also, yeah, this needs to be cut it too. So align it here. And then create a hole here, yeah. And press enter. So most of the geometry is created. And now what we want to do is to actually solidify the interior for the shell to not be just a very thin, non-existent thickness object, but something with a thickness. And actually, just before that, we need to sort out those buttons, those sliders here, because basically what we're going to do is we're going to use this to offset the surface like this. But if we do this, it's going to create a thickness also here. And if you remember on the reference picture, actually it's not on the reference picture, it's on our on those pictures, actually of the detailed reference. You can see that there are those little parts. So we are going to do those parts before. So don't solidify this for the moment. So we are going to go in the top view. So here it's bottom, but just set as top. Put your reference picture, and here, so those are your curves. You can move them. Actually, you can hide them into another layer called curves. Change object layer, hide them. And then we're going to extrude this here, those curves, in order to create those things. So in order to extrude them, we're going to just select the edge of what we cut it. So Control Shift, click on Control Shift in order to only select the edge and not the entire polysurface. And then extrude curve. Then you want it to be a solid. So let's say we want to extrude it of 1.5 maybe, or 2. Let's try 2. Our reference picture, what does it say? Probably 1.5. Let's say 1.5. 1.5 here. So extrude it downwards, and then you're going to delete all the top surface of the extrusions. We're going to join the extrusions with our main part here, and then we are going to draw those little curves, those little holes. So those holes are basically an offset of this. So you can here select those, duplicate the edge of those here, then press enter, join them before unselecting everything, and then one by one we're going to offset them. So offset, and this is too much, probably maybe let's try 0.5. Yeah, 0.5 seems alright. So you do the same for all of the sliders here. Oh. like this, and then we're going to simply trim the surface under. So remove this, put the shaded mod, and then trim. So select the object, then enter, and then select, and you trim here, you trim here. Here, and the last one here. Perfect. And then, so if we look at our picture, we can't really see what's happening after, so we're just going to pretend that it's going to be the same thickness than the other thing. So now that we've defined all the holes into our object, we are going to solidify it. So select the main part, type offset surface, and we want to offset it inside, and we want to offset it of, let's try 1 millimeter maybe to start with, to see if it's okay or if it's too thick. So type 1, press enter, and then press enter, and it seems to be okay. Yeah. So we're going to do the same here. Press enter. So offset surface inside, like this. This one too. And here we go. I just realized I forgot this little piece here. So now that we solidified our objects, it's we're not going to just trim through it. We're going to basically extrude this curve here, and we will use the Boolean tool, so subtraction here, Boolean difference, sorry, in order to cut this with that. So when you select this and you have selected this before, then you can just select the part you want to remove, press enter, and then it will have created this hole inside.